All right, sorry about that, y'all. We back. I'm gonna pick up right where we left off on this video. Let's see here. You there with me, Drip?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I don't know what it was. My PC just crashed out. But we back.
Murder of a 26-year-old African American male Tuskegee University student is already back working on the force and working as a trainer with SWAT, nonetheless. Let me put up the picture from the sheriff's office of Fulton County. I'm going to give you some background to this. Eric Hines, Assistant Chief Inspector of the U.S. Marshal Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force, and Christopher Hutchins, he's the cop in question right now. Christopher Hutchins, who's a Clayton County police officer, was working a task force. Both of those cops were indicted for murder, aggravated assault, burglary, making false statements, and violation of oath by a public officer. Now, bring it back to me. Mr. Hutchins is still employed by the Clayton County Police Department in the state of Georgia. Mr. Hutchins, the officer, was indicted by a grand jury in Fulton County, which is a county right next door to Clayton County. The cop was indicted for murder. Multiple individuals have seen this cop on the shooting range providing training to other police officers. And today, an email came out that exposed the entire ordeal. This cop was indicted last year. Now, I'm going to expose some things never seen on television before. Put up the picture of this cop at the shooting range for Clayton County Police. That is an exclusive photo, proof positive that this cop is active, that this cop is not simply on administrative leave, that this cop is in fact in the middle of a training program. Now, let me remind you, he was charged, the cop you're looking at right there, was charged with the murder of Jamarian Robinson. Let's put up a picture of Mr. Robinson, who was a Tuskegee University student at the time of this crime. Remember, the cops were charged with murder, burglary, aggravated assault, and violation of oath of office. That cop is not only working, but that police officer is still training others who are up and coming police officers. Now, an email went out at 9 a.m. this morning. I'm going to read the email to you in full. Here it is. To the commissioners of Clayton County. Did you know you have a police officer, Christopher Hutchins, who was indicted for murder last year by District Attorney Fonnie Willis for shooting a black man 59 times?
Good Lord.
Teaching the police shooting range, question mark. He's still on the SWAT team and is teaching a SWAT class today at the U.S. Marshal's office. Do officers indicted for murder still get to teach other officers how to shoot? Is he going to teach rookies to shoot black men 59 times? What does District Attorney Fonnie Willis think about this? Now, typically, when you are indicted for murder, you're not allowed to have weapons. You're not allowed to continue to utilize guns. It's part of your release. It's part of your bond agreement. Well, I looked at the bond agreement for this particular police officer, and no such requirement was listed on this bond agreement, okay? Now, the chief of police for Clayton County is an African-American male. His name is Kevin Roberts. That's Chief Roberts. The buck stops with him. He's the individual in charge. Let me give you background to when this happened. Now, I've been following this story since day one. Since this took place, I've been at the scene. I've been at press conferences. I've been at rallies with the mother of this dead 26-year-old. And I've had the mother on my radio program multiple times. This family has been seeking justice. They got an indictment from a Fulton County grand jury Cop gets indicted for murder, and lo and behold, is still operating as a cop, and not just a cop, operating as one who trains. Now, I did get a phone call today from a county commissioner in Clayton County who told me that according to his information, this police officer was on administrative duty. Not administrative leave, but administrative duty. And I pressed this particular county commissioner, well, what does that duty entail? Because according to the other officers who contacted me off record, this individual is working with SWAT and training people inside of that facility or on that shooting range. Well, the commissioner could not provide any additional context or clarity, but it is very clear based on the information that I've been able to independently confirm. The officer, Hutchins, who is indicted for murder, has in fact been leading training of members of SWAT and is still a member of the SWAT team. Now, the county is going to come out later today with an explanation. Now, let me tell you how the spin is going to work. They're going to say, well, he's on administrative duty. He no longer has his badge, nor is he in uniform. That's to distract you from the reality that they have figured out a way to keep him actively involved as a trainer for their police division. The absolute least they could have done was to make sure that this cop, while being indicted for murder, was on administrative leave and nowhere near policing in that county. It shows the level of insensitivity between cop and community, where the police are okay with the cop who has been indicted for murder continuing to work in policing roles. You can't have an indictment for murder and work at Wendy's. I don't care how much the manager believes in you. I don't care how much the manager thinks you may be not guilty of the crime you've been indicted of. You cannot operate in this country at 99% of the jobs available with a murder indictment on your back, except policing. Let me give you the background. Robinson was shot 76 times. The reason why the report says 76 is because he was shot so many times, some of the bullets literally ricocheted and went back into his body. So the young Tuskegee student, Mr. Robinson, was shot 76 times by police during an attempted fugitive arrest on the afternoon of August 5th, 2016, when they made entry into his apartment at Parkside at Camp Creek off Washington Road. Law enforcement believe Robinson was the man responsible for pointing a gun at Atlanta officers and running off. That claim has been unsubstantiated. Monteria Robinson, who's the mother, said in front of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office back in 2020, and I quote, "My son was a college student at Tuskegee University. He was a student athlete who was at his girlfriend's house when 16-year-old cops broke down the door. Over 90 rounds were fired at my son. Flash bang grenades were thrown at him, landed on him, burning him. Somebody walked up the stairs, stood over him, and shot down into his body 2 more times. After he was handcuffed and drugged down a flight of stairs." Put up the picture of the young Jamarian Robinson that was killed by these cops. Before his death, this 26-year-old scholar was majoring in biology at Tuskegee University, was also a member of their football team. The jury got it right. The grand jury said this is an indictable offense. Do you know how difficult it is to indict a cop for murder, let alone more than one? The grand jury indicted those cops. And what was the response from the police? Well, the police decided to just give him another role, a role where he is literally, the police officer Hutchins is literally in charge of training cops how to shoot while under felony indictment for murder. I'm pissed, I'm upset. Put up the picture of this police chief again.
I'm mad too, Shot.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean.
He's black. The whole damn county commission, African American. Now you all better get this right. When I tell you there has to be a report at some point today that says that officer has no affiliation anymore around weapons or anything else.
Coon ass nigga, man.
We're gonna have a problem. Now this mother and this community, the NAACP, advocacy groups, they have been telling you for years, there's an issue with how policing is done in this country. And right here, a cop indicted for murder by a grand jury is able to still train other police officers, and you tried to hide it. You tried to hide it. All right, attorney, I gotta ask you, I have never seen a cop indicted for murder still actively involved in training people how to shoot and kill. Have you ever heard of anything like this before?
Unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, I have not. As much as I want to have a frame of reference, this seems a little extreme and also a little ignorant and a lot problematic. We know that people who are officers who use their guns are pretty rare. We know that it's only about a quarter of police officers ever fire their weapons. And of those who have, per Pew Research, they were overwhelmingly white men who happen to work in non-rural, so kind of larger cities, and they also tend to be military veterans. We also know that they tend to approve harsh methods and physical methods for dealing with members of marginalized groups. So to have this individual, Hutchinson, who is already under this felony indictment and has killed and used his firearm, which is a rarity among police, to have him continue to train people really speaks to, again, ignorance. The fact is that the signal that's being sent, at least on my end, is that we want more officers to be shooting unarmed Black people. And thus we are training someone who has experience in that area to go ahead and teach these officers. And this is extremely problematic, what is being signaled and communicated to members of the community, as well as what's being signaled to law enforcement. But I can damn sure tell you it's not lost upon me.
Now, I'm going to say this because I do know some of the county commissioners who are elected in Clayton County, okay? I don't give a damn about the relationship we have had. If you're willing to stand by this ridiculous action by the police, you're going to stand by that. It's going to be you and me. Relationship be damned. Now, at some point, you have to figure out why you wanted to serve in public office in the first place. Was it to protect the powerful, or was it to represent the people? Was it to become a champion for law enforcement or a champion for public safety? Which one?
Yeah, she said what I was gonna say, though, Drip. They did that shit because they want to kill niggas. They want them niggas to kill niggas. They put them motherfuckers, man. And that black nigga, he taking orders from somebody else.
Watch. 30 years down the line, they gonna end up saying that the FBI got indicted for putting in the rules that they want them to kill
black people. Yep. In some secret docs or something. In some secret documents or something, nigga. Watch.
Yeah. Just like with Martin Luther King.
Yep.
They got indicted for that. Assassinated.
See, it's all in the month. I'm telling you, man. This shit. All right, y'all. Last one, y'all. Through the technical difficulties and everything. It's funny as hell. Y'all better strap up.
Health officials are sounding the alarm as monkeypox cases surge across the country. The CDC is reporting 3,591 cases in the United States. Georgia has the 5th highest number of cases, currently at 289. Jeez. Today, the State Department of Public Health confirmed Georgia's first positive case in a woman. Health officials say she had close personal contact with a man who was previously diagnosed with the virus.
Wow.
As more cases are being reported in Georgia, we're hearing from patients about the symptoms associated with the virus.
Fox 5's Alex Whitler spoke to a man recently diagnosed with monkeypox. She joins us now tonight with a look at what he's dealing with. Alex?
Yeah, Russ and Courtney, the overwhelming majority of people who have been diagnosed with the monkeypox are gay or bisexual men who have sex with other men. The CDC says you can contract the virus through sex, but also after coming in direct contact with an infected person. Now, the man I spoke to says he is gay, but he contracted the virus while playing cards with a friend who just returned from an international trip.
I'm done.
Like my mind's kind of see here in my eye.
Samario Anthony, who goes by Sam, spent the past couple of weeks thinking these small marks on his body were flea bites.
I totally went to my dog and this flea thing, so I'm up here trying to wash her, bathe her, no fleas in the water.
It wasn't until last Thursday, the 21st, when Anthony had routine blood work done at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation Center in Midtown that he learned he contracted monkeypox.
Well, I thought from the pictures that it was supposed to be bigger, like pox, like, not these small little pimple-sized, dots.
Anthony says he played cards with a group of friends July 10th. One of them had just that week returned from a trip to Mexico.
He had no indication that he had any lesions on his body.
A couple days later, that friend called about strange bumps on his arms. By the 14th, Anthony says he had lesions on his body too. Eventually, he had gastrointestinal issues, swollen lymph nodes, and muscle spasms. So far, doctors say the only treatment is to get through it, although there are pain medicines and topical ointments.
Fortunate part is there's the home isolation. They're being recommended to stay at home in their own separate room, ideally with their own private bathroom, and they have to stay in isolation until the lesions completely heal.
Anthony says he's doing that and blowing through sick days at work. 96% of cases in Georgia are among gay or bisexual men, but Anthony says you should be aware even if you're not sexually active.
I'm a gay male, but I didn't get my having sex with a gay male. I got it from going to a car party. Being around gay men, so we hug and we're just affectionate.
Doctors encourage those at high risk of contracting the monkeypox to get vaccinated now. Again, they say those people are men who have sex with other men, although there is now a woman in our state who contracted the virus. There's also a large vaccination event this Friday in DeKalb County. It's at the North DeKalb Health Center. There will only be 200 appointments available, and it's happening from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. You can register as soon as tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the Board of Health website. Alex Whitler, Fox 5 News.
Alex, thank you.
Bro, I definitely cry, bro. Listen, man. Y'all quit being motherfucking nasty.
Hey, dog.
Bro, and it's crazy because now they like,
man, I told my mom that the other day, man. She was looking so concerned.
what?
And I was like, yeah, they keep saying that you more likely to get it if you've been having sex with a man.
Facts. If you been
Yeah. Man. She's like, well, how is that? What does that mean? And I cried, man.
She said, what does that mean?
Yes.
No, you hit her off guard with it.
Basically, like, is it a sexual transmitted disease or what? What
and
is
that's
it?
what's crazy. How is it not? But then it is.
Right.
Like, I'm not getting it. I don't get that part of it. Like, you could get, because I read the things on it too, and it said that shit, you could get it from just touching some shit that a motherfucker touched that got it, nigga.
But when I first heard about it, they were saying if you ain't never got the chicken pox before, you can get it. So that made me scared because I ain't never had the chicken pox.
Right, me neither. I ain't never had no chicken pops neither, dog.
So that made me kind of scared. But then when they got to talking that, when you have sex with a man, you more likely than I felt kind of comforted.
You ain't lying. I was like, okay, I'm good.
I wasn't as scared no more because I know that's not about to happen.
That nigga said I wasn't scared no more.
Yeah, I wasn't as scared no more.
Right? But that shit nuts though. But man, look, man, you can't listen, man. I ain't fist bumping niggas. None of that high fiving. None of that shit. You man, listen. And you can just get it from touching. Facts, nigga. I really catch the vid, nigga.
Especially if it look like them big old bubbles that was on that one person's arm.
I really get the vid, nigga.
Cool, dog.
That shit, you ain't gonna never go. Hey, it's a lady around here that been looking like that for years. I know you've been seen her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was telling my mom. Like, what is it? I'm like, you know how some of them people be having them bumps all over them? It look just like that.
Yep. That shit, wow. I wonder what that shit is. I done seen a couple motherfuckers like that in my lifetime with all them bumps and shit all over. It's a lady here, and then in Cali, it was a lady that had that shit.
I seen somebody on. It's some kind of cystic fibrosis or something, man. I seen on Pimple Popper, this lady somebody was on there on a Pimple Popper show.
Right.
Took off as many of them as she could off this lady.
Man, that's nuts.
She took off like 100. She took 100 of them off. It still was looking bad for her.
Woo! That shit make my skin crawl thinking about that nasty shit, man.
Yeah, I don't like bumps.
Nah.
I don't even see how people can walk around with pimples and blackheads.
No, like bro, I be trying to wash my motherfucking face 3, 4, fucking 5 times a day. Telling my kids wash their motherfucking face.
I got a blackhead on my face. I'm about to pop it.
Yeah, get that shit up out of there. It ain't nothing but like oil and dirt and shit. You gotta clean that shit. Don't let that shit fester. Let that shit fester. That shit fuck around be a crater on your ass. Hell yeah, man. But shit, what else, man? I ain't got nothing else, man, to tap into, man. What you got to, what you want? Did you want to tap into anything, man?
No, I ain't got nothing I can think of. Real.
Nah, just that baby and bird and gangster shit, man. Who ain't no gangster? All that shit.
All right.
I think that's what we did first. Huh?
He got mad at Boosie. You shouldn't have been telling.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been telling, dog. Like like I said, man. I think they brung him out either for some old other shit, or he snitched on some shit that's going on now, and they just not saying that. They letting it be known that he's got out for snitching on dead people. But what kind of unsolved? Who cares? Like, and I'm not no disrespect to none of the families. But at this point, if the person who did it is dead, then who really cares? Like, what is it doing for the case?
You know you was telling.
He know he was telling. He told us some shit that's going on now, man. And hey, listen, the gangster, that's not gangster.
I cried.
BG don't even fuck with him. Nobody do.
Yeah.
And you know BG the real nigga. He stood up and took the shit. Took everything.
I'm telling you, that's BG's daddy.
That nigga stupid. Go listen to So Much Pain. No, So Much Death.
Whose song is that?
BG.
I seen something where BG's mom was saying that ain't nobody reached out to him but Baby since he been locked up. And that Lil Wayne the fraud for making that Man I Miss My Dog song.
Yeah. You seen part 2? That was on part 2?
Yeah, that's
I seen that. Yeah, BG mom a real one. Hell yeah. But shit, man. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us, man. That was gonna be it for this little episode of Talkin Shit. Episode 23. Y'all make sure y'all go check out that Sheesh.
Yeah, check that out.
On the Bandcamp, YouTube, everywhere. You got a date for it yet?
I'm thinking like Halloween, man.
Uh-oh. This nigga releasing a Halloween joint.
Thinking like I'm way.
Okay. For sure. And you already know, man, PG the Hustler, man, on Spotify, YouTube. I got that Where Do We Go From Here out right now, man, and that Contra coming soon. Within the next week or so, man. Probably next week I'll have a date for y'all. I gotta finish up on the graphics and shit, man. I've been lacking. Um, I've been just working and shit and tired. All this motherfucking traveling and shit. Well, shit, man. We had a shout out to the kids at the camp, man. 22nd David S. Mosley summer camp, man. We had a ball out there last weekend, man. Man, horseback riding, fishing, canoeing, man. The kids did everything, man. They had a ball, man. They had a blast. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm gonna see y'all when we see y'all, man. It's PG the Hustler, man.
Off we grave signing out.
Already gone. Peace.